FCFS scheduling algorithm. In this method, the process which comes first will be served first. For example, consider three processes, namely P1, P2, P3 with burst time of 20 milliseconds, 5 milliseconds and 10 milliseconds arrives at arrival time of 0, 1, 2. Now, among the three process P1 comes first, so it will get its execution for 20 milliseconds and exits when it's completed. Now the process P2 will execute for 5 milliseconds and exits when it's completed. And finally, the process P3 will get its turn for execution of 10 milliseconds and exits when it's completed. Now, let's find the average waiting time and average turnaround time for these processes. The formula for turnaround time is completion time minus arrival time. And the formula for waiting time is turnaround time minus burst time. Now let's start with Gantt chart. At first, we have to allocate the process P1, which comes at 0th arrival time and executes for 20 milliseconds. Next, allocate the process P2, which will execute for 5 milliseconds. So the process P2 completes its execution at 25 milliseconds. And at last, allocate the process P3 with burst time of 10 milliseconds. So the process P3 will complete its execution by 35 milliseconds. Now let's calculate the completion time, turnaround time and waiting time. The completion time for process P1 is 20. The completion time for process P2 is 25. The completion time for process P3 is 35. The turnaround time for process is completion time minus arrival time. So process P1's turnaround time is 20 minus 0. 20. For process P2, 25 minus 1, 24. For process P3, 35 minus 2, 33. The waiting time can be calculated as turnaround time minus burst time. So the waiting time for process P1 is 20 minus 20, 0. The waiting time for P2 is 24 minus 5, 19. The waiting time for P3 is 33 minus 10, 23. The total turnaround time is 77, and the average turnaround time is 25.6 milliseconds. The total waiting time is 42 milliseconds, and the average waiting time is 14 milliseconds. Thanks for watching.